Drew Yorke Show, live from the 381 Projects, Red Bull in Toronto. My name is Drew Yorke, and my special guest today, superhero, producer, rapper duo, Dom Diaz and Just John. Please come join me. You can sit down, guys.
What's going on?
How are you guys doing?
We're good. Just out here.
It's good to see you guys.
What's
you
up?
have a bunch of new music out. It's like a time of celebration right now.
It is a time of celebration. Dawn 2 is out. It's available everywhere you listen to music.
Big ups.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have it out, and we have so much coming. You know what I mean? So we're super excited. Yeah.
Super grateful, man. Thank you so much for all your support as well.
And thank you for
Yeah,
having us.
straight up.
Yeah, from the jump. From
How do you feel the reception has been to the new project?
Yo.
So amazing to just see everybody fuck with it. Sorry, can we swear on this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just like I mean it's just cool, man. I mean, like, Toronto really appreciates, you know, it's like this sound that we're trying to cultivate, and like we, you know, it's just so left field from a lot of the stuff that you're hearing right now, and to see everyone reciprocate it well, it's just like, it's nice, man. It's groovy. I love it.
I just think like me and Dom are just, you know, as we continue to make music, we're continuing to just, you know, get into this sick pocket with what we're making, you know, the sonics, how I'm coming onto the track, you know what I mean? And like just to see it reciprocate and really, you know, build that fan base that we're building, it's really cool to see. And, you know, just like keep more of that energy, like keep building and keep growing. So we're like super grateful just to be putting out music and excited about what's to come. Yeah.
I actually got familiar with both of you around like the same time, even though I wasn't really aware of it. Do you remember when you introduced yourself to me at that conference at school?
Yeah, that was years ago.
Wait, you guys went to the same
We
school?
went to the same. We went to the same
No
university.
way.
Shout out to Guelph Humber.
Shout out Guelph.
Shout out Guelph Humber. And I was promoting like a party that I was doing with my collective, which is now the Blank Canvas Collective. But before it was like Omit Limitation. It was called Omit Limitation. But yeah, and like I was just like handing it off to you, like handing like a flyer to you, and that's how we met.
That was before,
That is crazy.
Before you'd opened your first art
Space.
gallery, first blank canvas.
Yeah, exactly. Before anything, it was
Before
like
that.
4 years ago. So
Well, I had just started like taking pictures at concerts, like as like a hobby, and you told me that you were trying to throw concerts like in apartments, like in people's spaces.
Yeah.
And I was just like, who the hell is this person? Like, that's absolute insanity. And like, I wasn't familiar with DIY culture at all. Like, that was my like first even like introduction at all. Just you telling me about that, and it seemed like so foreign to me.
I mean, but how did you connect with Dom at the same time?
Oh,
that's 4 years. That's crazy,
bro.
I saw you open for Snake Hips at the Danforth Music Hall.
Oh shit, you were there.
Yeah, and I remember that set being crazy too, because I remember like I was like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, it was so. Oh man, I remember playing like dance hall records and like a lot of like old unreleased stuff, and like the crowd was, because Snake Hips is like super like it's like chill like hip hop and shit, but like my set was so left field. I remember you took the craziest photo of me. I still remember that day because I went online and I saw this photo and it was just like, man, like it's like it was like a silhouette. And you had me in this really cool angle, and like I was just going crazy, and like I still remember just looking at that photo and being like, this is amazing. So you took that.
That's
Holy
so funny.
shit, that is amazing. 4 years ago.
Well, because I think you added me on Facebook around that time, so I kind of just like I saw your name every once in a while, but then whenever I met with John to work on, it was like to premiere some other video. It was for the noise video.
Yeah.
Back when you had just started working with him, and you said, "Yo, I'm working with this producer named Dom Diaz," and I was like, "I know that name."
That's crazy.
I know that
Holy.
you guys met through Instagram. That's been a story you've told a couple times. I'm wondering if you could sort of just tell me what your first impressions were of the first time you actually met before, because I know you saw his music online, and that's how you sort of got acquainted.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I did a sponsored ad on Instagram, and
Shout out Instagram.
shout
one
out
time.
Instagram. And you know, Dom just hit me up and was like, "Yo, I like your sound. We should work." And I was like, okay. I was like who is this person? And I checked, like I saw his SoundCloud. I was like, oh shoot, this is like pretty legit. Like this might be something. And then you take it from there.
Yeah, man. Like I sent him Soundboy, and then like he instantly was like, "Hey, this is the record."
Just in my room,
And
like,
then,
looking
like-
up, being like, "Thank you, Lord." Like,
Had you already
my
made,
answers have
you'd
been
already
prayer.
made that, or you made it for him?
No, I already made it, and then I kind of like re-edited it because it was originally sitting at like 100 beats per minute, super slow. It was like almost chopped and screwed the record. And then like it was a chopped and screwed version for sure. Like it was really slow. Like it made no sense. Like you could have had a bowl of cereal in between the snares. Like the snares, like you were waiting. Like you were just waiting. Like, it was like, and then you just wait, and then like it was just like it just didn't make any sense. And like when I saw that John was like a really lyrical cat, it was like, okay, let's try this. Let's speed it up. Let's change the syncopation of the hi-hats, and let's just make it more of, like a hard-hitting trap record. And then once that happened, and going back to your question you were asked earlier, like when I first saw him and we first went in the studio, I was at shock because it was like, one, someone could finally understand my production, because I was working with other rappers at the time in Toronto, and it was more so like a little bit more difficult to place beats. Like these guys wanted me to kind of simplify the records and just make it a little bit more, just like hi-hat, snare, kick, and then like just one lead melody. Where John, I could kind of sort of create like a story. So there's like an A part, a B part, and a C part. Like the A part is the intro, B part is like the first initial drop, and like the third part is more so like, okay, we just switched it up completely, and it's like, whoa, what happened here? For example, in Mirror, the organs hit without any drum programming or anything, and then the steel drums come in, and it's the vibe just completely switched up, and then he starts spitting bars on top of that. So it's just like that kind of mentality as a producer, for me to produce anything, and then for John to just be like, okay, I understand it, is like super rare. You know what I mean? So when I first met him and I saw him do that on Soundboy, I was like, yeah, we got something special here for sure.
It's gonna make me blush, man.
You're
You're too kind. But like it was like really cool. Like, I feel like, finding a producer or finding somebody that you could really just feel like understands what's in your mind, it's like so difficult for any artist, you know what I mean? And it takes time to find that chemistry. And I feel like Dom is that person when I'm creating music. And right away, like, I knew that record I was gonna be like bass, boom, not the speakers, because it just made me feel
I'm off
like,
the meter.
And once I had the Dom made a heater, I'm off the meter, I'm off the liquor. Like he took that, and now it's like it's his.
That's my tag.
It's your tag.
That
you
is
know what
my
I mean?
tag.
That's culture in itself.
It's crazy, like
and it's just like. Dom doesn't send me like 60 beats like in like a folder or a beat pack and I choose. It's more we are really more calculated with our approach. It's like he builds this beat and like just sends me like a gift almost, and then I kind of take it and I'm like, thank you, and I kind of work on it. And then we meet again and we show each other what we're doing, and we're always like pushing each other to be better. So it's a really cool complex.
I wanted to ask you, Dom, about your impression of the community that John is a part of, because I imagine you weren't as familiar with it before.
You were part of the community same way.
I mean, like,
now.
I feel
it's a unique experience.
It's
to
like
be in those kind of spaces.
You know what? Like, it's so cool. Like, I was like, before I even met John, I didn't know what Blank Canvas was. Like, that was never a part. Like, I didn't know anything about it. And when I kind of went to the first Dead Poet, and I saw this community, this like really rare underground community, everyone is super welcoming. Everyone is so creative. You know what I mean? Like, there's people putting out records that are in this Blank Canvas community that are blowing my mind. Mm-hmm. There are people that are taking amazing shots, like photography. There's such good photographers,
curators, stylists.
And
like that's the thing. Like for people who don't know, like Blank Canvas is it's art hub and collective of various creators, and we started off as a gallery, and now we started off as a brick and mortar space, and now we are more metaphysical, and we still run a lot of programming, but yeah, we really seek to provide a platform for marginalized artists to kind of share their truth and express themselves. So that ranges from all over Toronto and the GTA, artists from different mediums and genres come together to meet, collaborate, and it's a crazy community. It's such a sick energy. I advise anybody who's listening to this, you should come out sometime
seriously.
to one of our parties or one of our functions.
And like as a DJ, DJing one of their parties, it was such a like refreshing, it was such a good vibe.
It's like church.
Now, honestly, like I was playing Mary Jane Girls, I was playing Michael Jackson, I was playing like these really ghetto baila funk records, and I was playing, dancehall and bachata, samba. I was playing all of these genres, and everybody understood.
Embraces it.
They just understood, and I was like, wait, what is happening here? Like, let me try this, and then everyone just goes crazy, and it's just like, this is a like untouched culture in Toronto that a lot of people haven't even been exposed to yet.
And that's what we do. Like when it comes to like,
It's cool,
when
man. Blank Canvas is lit.
Blank Canvas is lit, and I'm not trying to be biased, but it actually is lit. Like in the sense that even when I come to making music, like a lot of the time I like to say that I'm a product of my community, because if I wasn't in the past 2 years when I had that brick and mortar space, if I wasn't at all those parties or meeting all these different community organizers or cultural leaders, having these crazy conversations ranging from all sorts of political ranges, I wouldn't have inspired the music that I'm making today. So
sure, yeah.
It's been very, very influential to the energy now that I bring onto these records. And maybe if I didn't garner that energy, I wouldn't be even capable to be rapping on like these crazy intricate beats that Dom is creating for me, so I kind of look at everything as a lineage.
I wanted to ask you guys about the video that just came out, the fireworks video.
Mirror.
I think that the set design is just so interesting, and I wasn't expecting that at all. I honestly don't know what I was expecting for that video. Maybe you can just talk about where that idea came from.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys
like,
were involved in that set design, were you not?
we didn't create the set, but shout out Steve.
Yeah, shout out to Steve in the field. I mean, like,
Steve in the field who created the set. But
I feel
with the concept,
with the concept, like we were heavily involved, and we kind of created a mood board that had like over 50 images of what we wanted our individual sets to be.
Right off rip, we knew that like we wanted to kind of do a play on reflecting off of each other, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
juxtaposition is really important with our concept, right? Just Sean X Dom Diaz. So we wanted to show people like who we
the
are,
two different worlds that we come
in
from.
our own perspective, right? So it's like, we sent them a bunch of concepts, and we essentially sent them like, this is my brand, this is John's brand. Let's kind of mesh it together and create this vibe in this world, and they completely understood it. And then shout out Steve, shout out everyone that stepped.
Shout out Sean, who really
so sick.
It was such a cool just collaboration, and just I still remember that day of the shoot. Like everybody was involved, everybody was engaged, and it was just like everybody was like just devoted to making this the sickest thing ever. And I'm just so happy with the final product, and it's really cool to see it reciprocating, man. And even with the beat, like the beat is completely made out of fireworks. Like all the drums are made out of fireworks. If Dom you want to talk about that story?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a nerd when it comes to sound design, and like I really appreciate like weird sounds. And when it comes to production, like the stuff that just makes you like
from your music.
So just like it was me and my homies, like my buddy's fortunate enough to have a cottage in Wasaga, and we go up there like a couple times a year. And we were there for Canada Day weekend, got a bunch of fireworks, and it was like really late at night. We were shooting off fireworks, and one of these fireworks just sounded so crazy to me. It's like and it just stops. You know what I mean? It gets quiet. It's like the release is like it hits you and it's gone. And I thought that was really cool. So I just grabbed my phone and I recorded that sample and just EQ'd some of the frequencies out. And then the other, like the kick drum is a firework as well. Those are just pops. And then the snare is a firework with like layered with a clap. And then it's just like, it's just a bunch of just resampling and pitching up and down. And I guess that's the beat for you.
As soon as I heard that beat, I fucking loved it.
Big us.
And it drove me lyrically to just go on a whole another level. You know what I mean? And like, I still feel like that record, like we have so much records that we're sitting on, but that record I feel like was very, it was the second record we made after Soundboy. And it really kind of like, we were pushing ourselves to be like, yo, let's see where else we can go. You know what I mean? And we constantly do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about the importance of traveling to you, because I know that you just came back from LA, and is that the second time you've been out there now?
Second time, yeah, second time.
Yeah, maybe just talk a little bit about the importance of like buying that plane ticket and like getting out there, because I think a lot of people, that's like the biggest hurdle, right? Is like making the financial commitment. Like,
just say fuck it. Just say fuck it. Even if you got like, if you get this ticket and you're gonna have like $10 left in your shit, like, just do it. Cause like, you don't know what can happen when you put yourself out there. You know what I mean? It's like, once you take that initial jump, you're already meeting like the universe halfway. You know what I mean? You meet people from different, like, in these environments, just me going to LA or going to New York, just me going to a party, me having a writing session, me standing beside someone random, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's doing some cool shit and you're just expanding your network. And I think it's like really, really important, especially like even for inspiration, you know what I mean? Like, I go off to LA, Dom is sending me a beat pack, you know what I mean? And I'm making like, I'm finishing EPs over there, you know what I mean? Like, just building on what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And it's also really important to kind of step out of your own world and kind of see a different perspective and bring that back to the city. So I find like traveling is so important.
Yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see John in LA. I feel like he's so inspired. Like,
yeah.
A lot of the beats that when John goes to LA, and like the beats that I kind of like handpick and send to him are very selective. Like, they're very tropical sounding, like super hard. Like, it's just like, like it's just like, but it's super hard and it's very left field at the same time. But like, it's crazy. Like, I sent you 3 beats, and they're all pretty intricate beats, but you finish them. You finished all of them, right? Like,
I finished all of them. I think like,
that's crazy.
Even with just art and creating, I don't think people should think about like creating to just a Toronto demographic, even if they're from here or whatever. I think when it comes to creating your art, it should be always to, how am I going to communicate to the world? You know what I mean? How am I going to communicate to the world is your audience, you know what I mean? So I think like once you start putting yourself out there and meeting other people, people don't know you exist unless you put yourself out there. So that's how I look at it when it comes to music and what we're doing. I think what me and Dom are creating have such a world sound, and that's where we're catering to, and we're just building and growing from there.
I also wanted to ask you about maybe like sort of like an industry insight. I know that like a lot of artists that maybe like potential artists that might be able to watch this might be wondering about what it's like to start like working with a label. I was wondering if you could answer just, there's a new version of Soundboy on the new project. And I was wondering if you could just sort of explain like the behind the scenes of like a process like that when there's like you put out a single for a second time. It's because it's a newer version of it. It's like an updated version.
I mean, yeah, like we are relaunching Soundboy, which is like really exciting. Dom got the opportunity to really like take Soundboy to the next level when it came to mastering
I mean, like for the most part, when I was listening to the 3 records that we were originally planning on releasing, I put them through this software called Insight. Isotope Insight. Shout out Thuke for this. It's my homie. He's a producer homie. But anyways, I put this through this software called Insight. And what it essentially does is it shows me where all the frequencies sit. And a lot of the new records, the frequencies are sitting perfectly. Like the low end is booming. The old Soundboy, the low end wasn't booming. And I was kind of worried about that because like I wanted it to reciprocate well with like our other tracks. I was playing Soundboy in the club recently, and the new version, and it just absolutely bangs. We're fortunate enough to have such a cool label that supports our everything. We're just like, you know what, like Soundboy didn't get its day, like
didn't get his day to be heard, and I feel like a lot of people still don't know that Soundboy exists. So
we kind of just like reciprocated that to the label.
Just put it on this EP. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like give it the proper push, distribution. You know what I mean?
Etc.
So that's why.
And and honestly, the master on Soundboy now is like
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like you could play it like on a phone. You could play it in the car. You could play it anywhere.
And this is just a testimony for like artists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, never feel like, just because you dropped a record like, 3 months ago that it's time, it's done, move on. You know what I mean? let's look at like there's a lot of histories of records that have taken a year to really blow up.
Mo
and have its
Bamba.
time of day.
Like,
Mo Bamba.
That LMA record. Booed
LMA, yeah,
up. That was
exactly.
the whole summer before. Or something.
Crazy,
And then
bro.
The next summer, this summer, it was like.
So if you
building.
so if you fucking believe in a record, like push that shit. If you feel like you could put it on, another EP or something, like, and you have you're gonna have more eyes on it, do that. Do what you feel if that is gonna be the best to kind of give that record the best kind of treatment, because you're spending so much time, energy, money working on this record. You might as well give it its day.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you, it sounded amazing. Like when they were playing on the radio and they had that clean. I told this, but the
nice, you're
clean
listening.
version.
Oh yeah.
He texted me. He's like, "Yo, this clean version is
is it a
wild."
bell?
Yeah, you were honestly like, I love the clean version. There's a special place in
And
my
that's
heart.
that DJ side of you. That's
Yeah.
that DJ side of you
It's
coming
just
out.
like, it's just like if we're gonna make a clean version, we have to produce it. We can't be like, okay, just cut the vocals out. Like, let's add to it. Let's make it cool. Let's make the clean version cool. Like,
No, I love that. When I heard it, it threw me off, and I was like, "That's such a good idea." Just put that little bell instead of just
the
like,
bells, yeah.
instead of just having like silence, like just have like just blurt it out. Like,
Yeah, hell yeah. Like,
I love that. That was so funny.
thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. That's what we do, man. We're just trying to like just be as weird and different as possible.
And we like emulate, like the duos, like Gangstar or like
Jazzy Jeff,
Jazzy
Will
Jeff,
Smith.
Will Smith. You know what I mean? Like even the combos of like Pharrell and the whole NERD like collective and everything. I think it's like stuff like that we really want to kind of celebrate, that rapper DJ producer duo. And I think it's really sick, from what we do at Clean Versions to what we do on our live sets. Like our live sets are really cool. Like Dom is like a lot of the time like live looping, adding like all these new things to the records.
We try to add like a production element to our live sets. So it's like when you come see a live set, you're not listening to the same song you heard on iTunes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's going to be new samples added. There's going to be intricate breaks that are added. Songs will be shorter. Like, we'll only play like the hook of another song, and then we'll kind of mash it up with another record we have, therefore creating like this new mashup of like Soundboy and Mirror. You know what I mean? And like it just ends up working out. So it's interesting. When was the last time you've been to one of our shows, homie?
When was the last time I saw you perform?
Oh, I don't like the sound of that, Drew.
I don't know about that.
What?
I don't know about that.
Are you kidding me, my
You
guy?
gotta come out.
So 2019, I know you're working on festival sets. That's a big goal, right?
Oh,
Divert from that question.
about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I know early on you mentioned that was like a big goal.
Yes,
to play
absolutely.
festival sets. So what is that? Have you started conceptualizing that? Have you started making those
You will see us.
brainstorming?
You'll see.
you'll
All I'm
see,
gonna
you'll
say
see,
is
you
you'll
can
see.
see.
So we got some exciting stuff cooking for 2019. So
Good.
Yeah, for sure,
and
sure.
we hope to see you front row. And
I'll
we will.
be there.
or at least take your photos.
I'll try not to rinse a camera with water as I splash a crowd.
Yeah, this guy's crazy for that.
I had experience this summer where I got a water bottle straight into my camera.
No.
Like,
Oh my
water bottle. Like I think it was
No.
Lil Yachty, like, straight into the camera.
Yeah,
Oh.
Lil Yachty's sets are crazy because he gives everybody the water and
Yeah.
just like, everyone goes
So
wild.
good like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you the last question that I usually finish off interviews with. I want you to name there's two of you, so maybe you can give me 4 spots. Name me 2 food spots, 1 spot for people in Toronto that they need to know more about, and 1 spot for people that wouldn't be in Toronto that are coming to visit that like wouldn't know any spots. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna say the Greenwood, and that's at Greenwood and Queen Street. It's a really dope joint. It's like I can't even describe it, man. You can get like the most generic food there, but it just tastes so good. Like just really good burgers, really great salad. Like I love their in-house salad. Like it's generic food, but it's just so good. You know what I mean? That's one of them at least. Like
If I'm feeling like sloppy, like Cheetos or like Lansdowne and Bloor, like
Bro,
that place is crazy.
Amazing.
That place is
it's like
crazy.
shawarma's on
God.
pizza.
Yeah,
Like
that place is
It's
crazy.
like instant nap.
yeah, instant nap and I mean instant
sure,
nap and
for sure.
instant introspectiveness because you start looking at yourself and you're like, what am I doing with myself? What am I
Why
doing
did
with
I
my
do
body?
this?
Like, but it's so fucking
Yeah.
good. And then like Grasshopper, I think on College, it's a really cool like vegan restaurant and they have like I don't know like
Polar opposite.
it's a polar opposite, but like, you know,
Yeah,
my girl's
completely.
vegan, so like, you know, I have to like, I practice a lot of vegan eating. I want to say
I thought you were gonna say I'm pretty vegan.
I'm not.
No, he's
I did that once and I got just chopped
you
up,
can't.
so I won't say that. But
No, you
like,
can't be vegan.
I practice a lot of vegan eating. You know, I'm like, I shop around because I have to.
As we order like a pizza, like
Yeah.
in like an hour from now.
Yeah, you know.
A ton of pepperoni.
But like,
and-
Grasshopper like has like really dope vegan food, and like I don't really, you know, like sometimes there's like places like vegan places where it's like they're trying to make it taste like, you know, it's that chicken or whatever. It's like no, it's like it's its own experience and it's like really good. So I would recommend that place.
Sick.
Yeah.
Can you think of one more?
Yeah, I can give you one more.
Maybe people that are coming into the city that would not know
that
any
are just
spots.
okay.
You know
That
what I mean?
won't know any spots.
Yeah.
Damn, man, this is a hard question. This is a really hard question because I feel like I might offend some foodies out there. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, if you're just coming into the city and you want something quick and something delicious, like Banh Mi Boys, like, you know what I mean?
True.
Like, it's just
That's
so
a-
easy.
that's
That's a
staple.
studio. That's a real studio food.
That's our studio.
That's
is,
our
like,
studio
right there,
food,
so
like-
we like get it all the time, and it's just like it's in our blood, and it's so easy. You know what I mean? Like it's not messy, and it's you know, it's good. It's not too bad. I recommend it to everyone.
I
please.
recommend that too. So.
Okay, sick. Thank you guys.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having us, man.
You're the man, Drew. You're the man.
Check out Don 2. Don 2.
Don
Okay,
too.
thank you for watching the Drew Yorke Show. We'll see you next time.
Peace. Don made a heater.
Thank you guys.